Yeah, apparently Chomps doesn't like power tools and lawnmowers and edgers, and she doesn't like any of that stuff, especially not fire trucks. Fire trucks are like her arch nemesis.
She was really upset by the fire truck.
Yeah, it's traumatic. Traumatic fire trucks.
It honked at her.
It actually did. Like, she was looking at, this was last year, this fire truck went down the road, which is in front of the porch, and she was very, very startled because it's a huge thing. What if it eats her? And right as it goes right past the porch, it just lets loose with like a Tyrannosaurus roar honk. Terrified the shit out of her.
She ran inside so fast and hid for so long. She was so scared.
Yeah, she was hiding from the fire trucks.
She did not. She avoided the porch for days. She would not go out there.
Yeah, that's where all the terrors lurk. It was funny, but also like I felt bad for her.
she's still kind of wary out there. She's getting better. She's still a little wary when she's on that porch.
Well, the trauma of a Tyrannosaurus fire truck does not easily dispel.
Mine is scared of thunder and explosions.
Oh,
Yeah, I think a lot were afraid of explosions.
To be honest, I'm also afraid of explosions. I can't be like, those dumb animals, they think explosions are scary. Not like me. I'm not one of
I'm
those.
not.
Cool guys don't look at
Well,
explosions.
look
Maybe
who
that's
finally
why.
decided to show up.
How are
Only
you
4
today,
minutes in.
Mr. Hazen Cruz. Yeah, we're doing pretty good.
I showed up in the amount of time it takes Boogie to get past the front load ads on his videos, his old videos. I remember someone tried to show me like some guy I knew in real life. He was trying to show me like, hey, look at you should see this guy. He used to do this thing where he was like a fat dude and he would destroy an Xbox because he got mad. And I'm like, wow, that sounds great. I can't wait to watch that guy not even doing that. And then like he showed me a video and it was 4 minutes of like, okay guys, so do this and this was the support and this is supported today. And he's just like going on for 4 fucking minutes about some fucking like, I don't know, whatever people were advertising, BetterHelp or something back then. I don't even remember what it was.
Like and subscribe. What are we liking and
Remember
subscribe?
to like and subscribe and comment below. Let me know what you think below. Yeah. How about you?
I read
suck
all the
my fucking
comments.
balls. Yeah.
I don't know. I love Mr. Ballin videos, but he's like I'm watching through some of his older videos now because I'm never caught up. But now he's in his BetterHelp stage where it's like,
His new stuff
these
isn't
people
good.
were funding your entertainment for a while, and now I have to. You got to skip past it. Like when like halfway through a story, he'll suddenly stop and be like, "And our sponsor today."
Awful too, Mr. Mr. Ballin. For those of you who don't watch Mr. Ballin, which is most of you, I hope. He's got good video. Like a lot of his videos are good. I all jokes aside, I enjoy the stories that he tells. You know, he's an average storyteller. Like it could be anyone telling the story the way he tells it and it would be just fine. But my problem with Mr. Ballin is at some point he started to decide he was not only a salesman but also a comedian, and he'll have these fucking like really awful ads that go on for like as long as old like Channel Awesome bits would go on, and it'll be like, my pet frog Seagull Lung was really depressed because all the kids at school were picking on him, so we subscribed to BetterHelp, and now he says papa, and he like makes the frog speak French for some reason. Because I guess he thinks that's funny. It's like what someone's grandma would think was funny.
He's a writer. He thinks he's a clever writer.
Like, bro, I'm sorry, man. You're not a writer. Like, you're an okay storyteller, but you're not a writer. You're not a salesman. You're not a comedian. I don't care how much shit you've sold. Like, if I had 4 million subscribers or whatever, yeah, I could probably it's just a numbers game. Like, I could probably sell Dookie to people or something, the jars of poop. whatever. Like if you have 4 million subscribers, someone will buy it. So like, you know, whatever your numbers are, I'm sorry, you're not a salesman. Just make like a little 30-second thing talking about whatever it is. Maybe not BetterHelp. Maybe not the people who found out to not have any actual doctors or licensed therapists that just sell your data. Maybe not those guys. As people have been telling you for years, do not fucking advertise for BetterHelp because they're completely shitty and they're a scam, but you still do it. So maybe not them. Maybe anything else. I don't know. Advertise RC cars or something.
MeUndies.
What, anything.
Casper mattress.
Ooh, Casper mattress.
I don't even know if people like still do that anymore.
I don't even have like a legitimate.
What's the one everybody advertises now? It's not VP. NordVPN.
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 NordVPN. That I think it's called like Delete Me or something. That one's going around a lot. For a while it was I always think it's WordPress. It's not WordPress. It's I don't know, some other website thing. Some website thing for people who don't know how to make websites.
No, it's for me.
Shitpickle.com.org.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. Come on down to shitpickle.org.com and subscribe today with me and my frog, Seagull Lung.
I can't
I don't
even
understand
really,
what's funny. What are we doing there?
I don't know. I can't even really complain too much
what is
that he does like ads because you gotta pay the bills. There's like bills to pay, kids to put through college.
I get ads. Yeah.
But I don't like them, so therefore I whine, and that's the math. That's how.
I don't want to see any ad for 2 fucking minutes, especially one that's not funny or entertaining. And they're when you look on, apparently people agree with me because when you look on the seek bar for YouTube on his videos, they're all like, that's the most skipped
You
part.
see like a plateau,
huge spike.
No, that's
You
that
could
that
skewer a human being on that spike.
that heat map of like where people skip forward to. That's my lifeline because that's exactly when I'm like, oh, here comes an ad. You just like grab that. I look for where do they skip to and then where they land, and then I just put the thing there and it's like, there we go, we're in the clear. Back to stories. Sorry, Mr. Ballin. I want you to be a wealthy, happy, comfortable person, but I don't want to listen to ads.
I also want that, and I don't mind listening to an ad, but look, when you do ads, especially like a mid-roll ad, you really have only 2 choices right now. You can just do something straight-faced that's normal if you're not good at being funny or good at like writing, or you can do like what Seth Zentach and Internet Historian do, where they actually make like a funny little bit at like their ad is part of the content in a way that's more effective. But if you can't do that, you end up selling what you would normally sell. Mr. Ballin, because I know you're listening to this, right? Do a fun little experiment. Cut your ads down to 30-second or whatever the minimum the people supporting you that like your sponsors. That's the word. Whatever your sponsors require, and just make it a straight-faced ad about what the service is and what it does. I promise you won't see your numbers change.
Maybe I'm unique in this way and advertising doesn't work on me, but generally, like, the only ads that even register if I'm like driving and the radio's on or whatever, the only ad that will even register if it is something that you were like thinking about needing to do or get anyways. And then that's when it like penetrates the psychological barriers and you're like, oh yeah, that's right, I did need to get like a new lawnmower blade. I was thinking about that, and then here's this ad that reminds me. How fortunate. It's like there's always ads going all the time about all the things, but if you don't need a new mattress or you don't like have foot pain or any of those things, you just filter those out naturally, and it's like the one that you kind of need. And I feel like the function, I mean, different products, but when it comes to like just things that you actually need, like little technical things like that, I think if you are in the market for it, then you will hear the ad, and the ad really just needs to be a basic reminder of how to go and do it. It doesn't really need to be a production, you don't need like an operatic plot to be reminded to get like a new lawnmower blade.
Yeah, and the worst thing that you can do is to make it as long as possible.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Dave.
What?
You need to check out
You should see this thing Mamo made. Yeah.
Mamo has made a little comic about Chomps being afraid of fire trucks, and he used our photos.
Oh, I gotta see this.
Why are you
That was
saving
fast.
photos of my lizard? I recognize at least one of those.
Hold on, we need to see the true life story of Chomps being afraid of a fire truck. This is. Pull the thing up on
I
stream.
love the very mammalian shocked expression.
Oh man, Chomps, this is so cute. I'm sorry, Chomp, Mamo, this is so cute. Thank you. Terrified of the fire truck, a true story. Read by Mr. Ballin. It's quiet, too quiet. Wee-oo, wee-oo. What is that monstrosity? Anyways, BetterHelp is the sponsor of today's comic, so I'd like to stop right here. Don't know. Yeah, no, like that's the.
I like the
This is-
little like lizard blushing anime.
Yeah, the little.
Man, did you
And
make
so
this
when
in
the
the last 10
fireman came
minutes?
by, he just waved at the lizard, and there was no other problems.
This is adorable. Thank you for sharing
I'm
that. But we
really-
have to show this to Chomps later.
Chomps
first
is under
get
the
word
Words of
couch.
reaction.
We'll print this off and we'll show it to Chomps under the couch, and she'll feel better that she's the star of a comic now. That was really cute.
And they say AI has no soul.
I know a little lizard that would argue otherwise.
I like that she's wearing like a cape at the end for some reason.
Yeah, little hero.
Was that intentional?
Yeah, because she's brave now. Because she's brave like a hero now that she's no longer afraid of fire trucks.
She was only in a towel in the basement to try to contain her during the tornado warning. She doesn't actually like hang out in towels.
I don't know. Sometimes the bathroom rug, she'll think that's pretty cool and get in there. But more often, her favorite choice of shelter is a Zevia box. She loves the Zevia box.
Zevia is a soda that we drink here.
Yeah, it's like
and
it's like a
it's like a Pepsi box.
yeah, it's like if Pepsi was Dave friendly and is not bad for you. Oddly enough, she loves that box.
Oh,
She'll
like
crawl in that
those
box.
little rectangle boxes. She can fit in one of those?
Well, it's the 12 pack. It's a long box.
Yeah, the 12, but you can get like the bigger sizes on internets if you crave more Zevia.
Yeah.
Today's episode brought to you by
I
Zevia.
crave more.
Apparently, Zevia, the thing that's just as good as soda, except it doesn't kill you slowly. Ooh.
Oh, Memo searched
Zevia.
on Telegram and found that image. Yeah. You can search my lizard pics.
Like, I don't think I'm some brilliant comedian, you know, when it comes, maybe like making comics, they can be funny, of course, but when it comes to verbal live delivery, I'm not some great comedian, but also sometimes I feel like maybe there's a scale and it's like, you know what, at least I'm not being like, hey, my stump Woody loves soda, but he just hates having his liver fried. What would Woody do, you know? My Zevia, so what I'm doing is I'm pitching myself to the Zevia company right now. I can give you non-cringe promotional value. You will sell at least one case to me, and everybody benefits.
Excellent.
I'm expecting to hear from them any moment.
Wowee. New Zevia from Wowee.
Hold on. Doing stuff.
Just cleaning up these lines a little bit.
So, Dave, what is this for?
This is for Captain's Log 4. I wanted to do a bit of a stretch and get one more view of this of the bridge scene, because we've got the front view of the bridge, we got the back view of the bridge, but we don't have a side view. And when we were doing the storyboarding, I was kind of itching for just like one more camera view. So
Yep.
like,
So this is going to be an animated thing advertising Captain's Log and GarageBand. And we needed another background.
yeah. Well, we didn't like need another background. We could have just done it with the existing assets if we had to, but it's, I don't know. It's going to be way more fun to get a little more visual interest in here. And the other nice thing about these Captain's Log tectonic backgrounds is, you know, we have like a little show scripted with this crew, with this spaceship, so we can actually reuse all these background paintings in later episodes. And that's one of the reasons that I actually do them pretty high resolution. And you can see like the chairs on a separate layer here for Captain Dave and Lula. So you might think, oh, it's just like one shot. Why do you have these things on separate layers? Blah, blah, blah. Well, this way I can like customize it, and I can get a whole lot of background usage and reusability out of just one set of assets.
Excellent.
I did want to try because I'm trying to like also get a little better at being able to use AI. So I was trying to be like, okay, I've got 2 reference photos for this background. Can AI interpolate them and give me like a 3/4 view shot or something? I'll actually pull up some of the attempts. Some of them, it's in the zone where it's impressive. It's pretty cool that it can do what it does, but at the same time, it's not quite what I need. It's like not right there. I tried a few times too. Sometimes it would come out like whoa, this is like a nightmare car wreck version of the setting. That's interesting. Not really what we're going for.
It misunderstood the prompt and thought it said to generate the cockpit, the bridge, as after been hit by a drone strike.
Yeah, seriously. This one, like, the issue is, like, some of these are actually pretty impressive, right? But you can see it misunderstood the Captain Dave chair, and it just doesn't understand that, like, that part of the door is
Like
not
the
where the
back
chair.
rooms.
Yeah, some of this is
that
like
one looks
backrooms vivid bridge stuff. Occasionally, like some stuff like this one I think could actually work as like a top-down shot if it was like more focused in on this area. If we needed like a slight bird's eye. So some of these it's just the tool I used. It was like, okay, we're gonna give you a dozen angles based on these references, and a couple of them are like. They'd be okay for some limited purposes, but when it came to like, well, I actually just want something from a particular angle, it didn't give you much control over the virtual camera that it was using. So you're only able to get some very generic angles, and most of them it's like, I look at it, and at one level, it's impressive that technology can even do this at all. But on the other hand, it's like, well, this isn't actually, there's like some flaws here that are going to get worse and worse and worse the more people like stare at this setting or, this environment. So unless it's being used for like a really quick incidental sort of a shot, just needed to be drawn. Especially if I want like reusability, and if I want to like, possibly shift the things relative to each other and stuff.
In the amount of time it would take you to fix and like paint over what it did, I mean, you could just do it yourself. So.
Yeah, that's always the thing. If I'm trying to learn how to use AI to accelerate some of this animation production stuff, is like if there's something where it's like, oh well, that's kind of close, but I'd have to like cut this item out, and I'd have to repair that chair that got totally rendered wrong, and if I just put this asset, it sort of turns into a calculation where it's like, okay, if I was to manually go in and like retouch this and fix it up, how much time would that consume versus how much time would it consume for me to just make it from scratch, using old reliable, my hand.
Don't call it that. That's really weird.
That's weird? Why is it weird? It reliably draws whatever I need it to draw.
Sexual.
No, it's not. There's nothing sexual about drawing cool backgrounds. Excuse me.
This is what Cards Against Humanity has done to us.
Yeah.
Everyone can't stop it. Can't help themselves but think of innuendos all the time.
Seagull lung is not funny, but like taking everything the wrong way, that's hilarious.
Especially when Dave doesn't get it.
Well, then you explain it to me, and then I'm like, well, I don't want to accept that explanation. I want everything
You-
to be...
I deny your reality.
Yeah.
He just needs to learn to see everything through the lens of like a filthy, I don't know, sex addict or something.
Mongoloid.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I just want to draw things.
No, I don't want that.
Give me the butter.
What?
I actually don't remember what that's from. It's like some like shitty video game, isn't it? Or like a Flash game or something?
It's from like a Flash game thing that's like meant to teach English. It's called like Pumpkins, like learn English with Pumpkin or something like that. I can't remember. I never played it, but there's like a part where you're at a restaurant and to learn English, he just asks for like different random things, some of which are not food. And then he's like, give me the shoe. And then everything, if you give him the right thing, he goes, num, num, num. And he just eats it. And then like, if it's wrong, if you give him the wrong thing, he'll slap it out of your hand and go, no, I don't want that.
This game
Wow,
actually
you're
sounds
playing
pretty. This game sounds pretty
games
fun.
for children. Lovely. Have fun.
Games for children. No, this is a game for very strange adults. This is like the social equivalent of the Backrooms. What Backrooms is for three-dimensional spaces, this is for social interactions.
Oh, it looks like Penny's really popular on Civet, is what Mammo's saying.
Penny.
Oh, hey, Chomps. Yeah, Chomps is hanging
Yeah,
out with me. She wants to
Penny.
stream with me. Yeah, hey, Chomps, I'm streaming. She can't hear the rest of the conversation. She's
Made a
not.
comic about you, babe.
I also miss Flash games. Even though, I don't know, if you wanted to make a Flash game these days, you probably would just fire up Unity. I don't know what making a Flash game is like, but I can't imagine that it's harder than just using Unity. But still, it was, I don't know. I guess it's nostalgic.
They had like there is like a nostalgia thing because that like era of the internet was insane. But I think there is just like an aesthetic to those that isn't really achievable without Flash.
I don't know. I made one Flash game in college when you had to learn Flash and make a Flash game. That was a fun class because the students had to end up teaching the professor how to use the software, where the focus of the class was, here's how you use this software. The teacher didn't know it, so the class had to teach the teacher how to teach the class. That was fun.
Is that Tracy Robinson Goose Lady?
Names off stream, Liz. But yes, it was the Goose Lady, we can call her. But anyways, I made like one Flash game that was kind of fun. Well, it wasn't actually fun, but it was like you would have to click through these different things, and then a zombie would run at you from the various backgrounds, and if you didn't click the right spot of the screen fast enough, you'd just be killed by the zombie. And I managed to pass the class, so...
He passed the class.
I passed the class.
My favorite thing about those old Flash games were like the sound effects they would have for like impact or like punches or violence. They would always be shit they had recorded with their like $5 stick microphone from their speaker. So it would be like the most like deep fried fucking shit ever you would hear. It'd be the loudest thing you'll ever hear in your life too.
I do think, especially if there's like some era of your life where you grow up with that stuff, there is nostalgia to like bad audio or like production methods that are very, very suboptimal and unprofessional, but they still kind of like work well enough. It like creates a unique like pastiche of techniques and flaws that you just don't really get that flavor anywhere
It
else.
sort of does, yeah. Like I feel like that's the kind of thing someone would try to replicate with AI. Like having like, even though it's not perfect and it's not like the best quality and like highest production value and stuff, I feel like that's the kind of thing people might try to preserve through that, just like having those kinds of sound effects and things.
Yeah.
There was a period pretty early on, like probably between, I don't know, 1996 and like probably like 2000, where like all the Shockwave and the Flash games that you would play were using the same sound banks. So you just hear the same effects over and over and over again. I really wish that like I had those packs, because I think it would be funny just to throw them into something.
Sort of
But
like
yeah,
the,
it's like
the
everyone's
gaming
using the
equivalent
same
of the
thing.
Wilhelm scream almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Which
It's
I
like-
don't know how people aren't tired of, by the way, the Wilhelm scream.
It's always funny.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Sorry.
Yeah. Whenever
Now-
I hear
now
the
you
Wilhelm
managed to remind
scream,
me.
I laugh and laugh and I shit and I fart
I think there's a tipping
endlessly
point.
for hours.
I think there's a tipping point where, like, when it first got started, when it was only like a small handful of people in the theater that were like, "Oh, I've heard that scream somewhere else. I understand. The other people around me don't, but I get that this is like a stock sound effect that I've heard multiple times before, and it reminds me of these other things." Like when there's a minority of people where that's sort of like a special secret message that they get, and other people don't get it. That's when it's sort of like fun. It's an
Gangbangers.
inside joke, but there's a tipping point where too many people get it, and then as soon as you're in a theater and everyone in the theater is like, "Oh, that's the Wilhelm scream. Wilhelm, oh, did you hear it? Yeah, I heard it. Did you hear it? Yeah, I heard it. Oh, we're all so clever for all knowing the same thing." That's when it's dead. Like it's.
Yeah, I think that got old in like 2008.
Those are all the people who bought the popcorn bucket.
They did buy the
Anyway.
popcorn bucket. So I don't know. It's interesting because
The
that's
Wilhelm
like
scream popcorn bucket.
right. That's like a little fragment
Look for
of entertainment where it's not based on just like the content itself floating in a void. It's kind of predicated on the social situation that you're in. It's like if too many people get it, it's cringe. If only a few people get it and you're one of them, then it's kind of cool. So it's like, is the actual piece of content itself better or worse? Does the scream actually fit the content? I don't know. It's just weird because normally I think of entertainment when I'm trying to make something as like, is this good in and of itself? But sometimes like the overall social climate can actually color things a lot for people experiencing it.
It's just the Akira slide, but in sound effect form. It's just a thing that people do now because they want to be, I don't know, part of a group or something like that, or they just want to seem like that they have some kind of interesting personality, and so they'll throw this thing that everyone knows about and pretend that it's some niche thing that only a few people are going to get, and it's very fake these days.
I think this also
I
reminds
think,
me
yeah.
of
Some people, I think. So I was gonna say, some people I think is that. Some people I think they just genuinely are like, I want to do one because they just think it's cool and they want to put it in whatever cartoon they do. But like, man, I'm
Yeah, just
sorry
be part
when
of
there's
the
like
club.
10,000 other indie cartoons that have this in it, and there's like fucking, you become like the shelf of Buzz Lightyears.
yeah. I was gonna say too.
Yeah,
that-
like they did it in Metroid, of all things.
Oh, really?
Because of,
Oh my
well,
god!
first of
What,
all,
the-
there was a
the
bike in
Akira
Metroid.
slide. Oh, they did in Gargoyles.
Ugh. Well, I suppose.
Enough. Enough.
Yeah.
Do we need more Akira bite slides? Do we need more fucking Wilhelm screens? Like, please, I'm begging you, put something else in your cartoons.
Did they even do that shit in like Animaniacs or something? The newer stuff.
it reminds me.
I
of,
swear
don't.
they
They
did
might
something like
have. I don't know.
It
I
reminds
don't
me
watch a lot of that.
a post I saw on social media where somebody was saying like, listen, if all you've done in your life is like watch movies and play video games, like you need to be drawing from more than that if you want to be creating like fiction. You can't just be regurgitating like, oh, I consumed this and now I'm gonna also make this. It's like you have to have some contact with like base reality, or at least be doing something that not every other person in your generation is doing. Like maybe read a book, some crazy shit like that. Like, go out there, live a life, try riding a bicycle or a motorbike. What if you understood what it was like at some level beyond just like, oh,
Actually.
the Akira slide is awesome. I want to also do that thing that I've seen other people also do.
You know, I'd like to see somebody actually try that in real life and just like crash. A compilation of people thinking they can do it and just eating shit.
Like those
dark.
old skater compilations of them like wiping fuck out on their skateboard.
David
Yeah.
told me on stream to do the Akira slide, and I am holding him legally responsible for my medical bills.
Now I'm gonna go make an animation about how I don't know, I broke my fucking finger skateboarding.
He told me it would be a good idea and that it would make my art better. It did not make my art better, and now I am injured.
Well, you know,
Who
it's funny
thought
that
it
we're
would be a
talking
good
about
idea?
this.
Sue him.
Who thought it would be a good idea to remove Flash from the internet memo? Steve fucking Jobs. The guy who tried to cure cancer by eating fruit. A very
Really?
curable type of cancer, by the way, that they could have cured with medicine. He said, "No, I will cure it with fruit
I'm
You know, like
because I'm a
carrots.
vegetarian."
Sure.
I thought he killed his liver and then had to get a liver transplant and then did it again.
He had some kind of like cancer or something is what actually killed him. He may have had the liver thing too.
I heard he tried to cure it
But
by
yeah,
jumping on a trampoline until it was cured, but then that didn't work.
I don't think
didn't
that
hear
worked. But you can cure it by not eating fruit. Yeah, you can cure it by like going to the fucking hospital and saying I need my very curable type of cancer cured, and then they can help you fucking cure it instead of being like a California hippie
I know it
asshole.
all. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, and then on your deathbed going, I have one final message for everyone. The Flash is the worst thing ever. We must get rid of it. We must replace it with HTML5, which is Apple created.
Now, I am yeah, of course he does. I am not a cancer expert, but my basic understanding is that the last thing you want to do is give it access to easy glucose, because
it's what Mammo's saying. Cancer survives on sugar. Just don't eat carbs.
Yeah, like if you starve it of glucose, cancer cells, they're like normal cells, except they're like zombies. They're fucked up a little bit. So it's like they're like a normal cell that is working not quite the best. So that means it's a system of metabolism. It's ways of sustaining itself. It can't metabolize as effectively as a healthy cell because it's a fucked up cancer cell. So what's the easiest thing to metabolize? Glucose, sugar. So that's the easiest thing your cell can just be like, yep, grab it, pump it out, boom, I'm good. So if you starve it of glucose, obviously I'm not saying like, go on keto for a little while, cure for all cancers, boom. If that worked, then cancer would be cured. But, there's a lot of things that might help nudge the needle in the right direction to the point where your own immune system can like get a claw hold and start like, trying to handle the situation. But one of the things that I would not imagine would be helpful at all would be pumping your body full of sugar. Just my take.
I wouldn't think that would be helpful in any situation.
Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of phytates and like there's all vegetables, fruits, plants. There's all kinds of stuff. Some of it is really good for you, but also if it's in the midst of like a ton of sugar that's like spiking your blood glucose levels, then that's not great. Generally. Yeah,
there's like everyone kind of knows this stuff. Like if you eat well and you exercise, you're just gonna live longer. I mean, how much longer? No one knows, but if all you do is you just eat better and you exercise, like just everything becomes better. There's no reason not to do it. There's no reason to eat like 10 cakes a day.
10 cakes a day.
10 cakes a day.
Yeah.
I'm a murderer.
Man, that's terrible.
I stop at 3 cakes a day.
That's my limit.
The Outsider is asking about making games in Flash. I did it. I did some stuff in Flash for a little bit, and I think Flash had some kind of scripting thing. That's probably not totally unlike like how like modern game engine editors look like. You get like a scene and then you can kind of just move stuff around. I know like animations were done with keyframes, but I think you could just like tell stuff to go here and there and whatever. So yeah, in kind of that respect, I think it was kind of like a game engine. It's been a long time. I can't remember what it was like. You could probably find YouTube videos actually of like tutorials.
You can still work in Flash. Yeah, like you can still like people have got like the old version of Adobe Flash that you can actually use to make stuff. But the problem is like the only place you can really upload anything like that now is on Newgrounds, and I think you have to have like a special modification that they made to it or something, or someone made for Newgrounds, and then they have their own like Flash player thing that works. So,
yeah,
I mean,
you
can still do it.
There's like a modern open source version of a Flash player now that I think it'll just run all the old stuff, and I imagine if you're making new stuff in it, it either just works or maybe they've got like a process. But that software, like the old software is, God, I mean that stuff was probably made for like Windows XP. So I don't know. Maybe somebody has made a modern version of it. What I didn't get about the HTML5 thing was like, okay, you can now like there's no Flash player. It's just your browser just interprets it all. But like, how are people going to do animations? Did anyone ever make an HTML5 version of Flash where you could make cool animations? Because it seems like Flash died, and then that stuff just was gone. Like you just couldn't.
Yeah,
if you weren't making it in Flash, you just couldn't do it.
It was all just so sudden. Like I remember like the day that happened, like there was like a day where Apple says Flash is super insecure, guys, and it's bad. And it's just like, okay, well then we could just like improve Flash, right? Nope, we can't do that. We have to use Apple's new thing. And I remember thinking like, this sounds really gay. This sounds like Apple just made something that they want to like have control over things. And then like within a week, everything was just like, nope, we don't use Flash anymore. Nope, we don't use that. Never. We never use it. What's Flash? And then everything was just the stupid HTML5 shit that did not support any of the old stuff, and no one was making anything new for it.
Yeah, it was like, well, that's cool for HTML5. You can do these dynamic animations. You can like move boxes around, and you know honestly, like there's this for Star Citizen, there's this website that you can use for mining, and of course, if you're going to do anything in Star Citizen, you need to have a second monitor, and you need to have a browser open at all times to look stuff up, because everything is so retarded in that game. But anyways, there's a website for mining, and there's no thing that comes up. There's no like software that's running inside the browser. It's just a regular website, but there's these animations everywhere, and the animations are so taxing that I have to close the tab when I run the game, because it's stealing so many cycles from my CPU. So like, you know, okay, Flash is old. How could we benefit from doing a complete rewrite or like integrating it all in the HTML5? I'm sure a lot of people would say it'll be more efficient. It'll be like the code will be easier to run. You won't need to use so much processing power for it, or maybe it'll be more secure. But it seems like all that happened was they just gutted it completely, and now you're left with people doing like these Star Trek warp animations with a bunch of little particles floating around in the background of your browser that is just making your computer like run like ass. And also the browsers now aren't even that efficient. Like a lot of them are based off of Chromium, and Chromium is a power hog. If you get Google Chrome, it's probably even more of a power hog. So I'm not like seeing the argument for why people wanted to get rid of it, other than that, like, which was probably the case. It's just somebody wanted to have like a monopoly on it, or something like that.
It usually seems to be how it goes. It's always like a pet peeve of mine when I like wake up one day and I get this sensation, like, you know what? It felt like everything worked way better 15 years ago. How come doesn't technology go forward? Why is everything working shitty now? Like we used
because
to.
hardware is going forward.
We used to be able to go to the moon and just fucking land on it and shit, and like shoot home videos. We used to be able to have like Flash on our computers and run things, and I didn't have to like download 15 driver updates to like send an email. What happened? Yeah, I could buy a video game and I could just play it forever. Even if the company went out of business, I could just play that game forever. What happened?
You just stick it in. You didn't have to install it like the PS3 started doing. Yeah, see, like I think about this a lot, of course, because I do a bunch of coding. But there's making things complex for no reason is not like a good way to design things. And so everything now has too many fucking bells and whistles, and things are so complicated now that, like, okay, I want to make see, here's a funny thing about Windows Explorer and Windows 11. You would think that because it's Windows and because this is a thing that comes with Windows. Everyone who has Windows installed on their computer has Windows Explorer, because otherwise, how are they going to look around on their hard drive?
Yeah.
So you have to have this. You would think that such a core, very important piece of software would be custom built to be as efficient as possible. And there's things in the background that are supposed to enhance the experience, like indexing and shit. So, you would, this thing is like accessing stuff on your hard drive is very important for an operating system. You would think that they would want to make going around on your hard drive be very quick and easy, and be able to find stuff be very easy. And the app that runs that would be very efficient. But apparently, on Windows 11, the Windows Explorer app is just like a web app that is running inside your computer.
Yeah, it's
and
terrible.
for those of you who don't know, a lot of you probably use Discord. That's what Discord is. Discord is not. It's not a C++ Windows application that's been compiled. It's just a web browser that only lets you go to Discord. And I don't know. There might be some special stuff, some slightly special things about it. But, if you pull up Discord in your web browser, you're going to get an extremely similar experience. And it seems to have access to all the same stuff.
The thing that I hate about the Windows Explorer thing, I don't even know about all the technical stuff. I'm not like, oh, it's less efficient. Like, you could hit me in the head with like a baseball bat of how efficient it is or isn't. I wouldn't know the difference.
As long as I have your permission.
Yeah. There's full consent. No worry. Baseball bat ahoy. But the issue that I just hate about the Explorer thing is when you go to look for, okay, I need to find this piece of software. I don't remember exactly where in like the program files folder structure it is, or the little like a navigator hot link that got missing or something. So I just need to look up the name of this program so I can use it. And then you go to look up the name of the program inside of your own you're not connected to the internet, and it's giving you web searches instead. It's like first result it gives you. It's like, oh, did you want to search about what this is like on the internet? Did you want to have people reading about this in forums? It's like, no, this is the thing I use to look on my computer for what is on my computer, and now I have to figure out how to not look everywhere on Earth. Like, do you understand how cripplingly that inefficient that is? That takes away the core function of this entire interface and just turns it into a hassle.
It's Bill Gates' computer now.
Yeah, it's for reasons like this. I'm like, you know what? Maybe Bill Gates, capital punishment. Maybe make it fun. Make it a fun execution. And then it's
I
like,
don't think
okay,
we can blame this one on Bill Gates, because he's just not. He's not even involved with that anymore. But
you don't know how blame works. You can blame anyone for anything. It's awesome.
Oh, yeah, I guess you can. I blame you. Yeah, so that's just happening everywhere. It's just like, well, I mean, we're kind of doing the same thing with game engines. It's so much easier to just go, I don't feel like making a game engine. You could make it like somebody demonstrated this by writing it like a simple game engine to run something that wasn't too complicated. But like if you can make a game in Unity engine, and it will probably run fine. But if you made your own game engine that only had the stuff in it that you needed for it to run, you could make a game that runs 4 times faster and is way more efficient and all that stuff. But it's not convenient to do that because you need to spend time writing a game engine to do that, and no one wants to do that. Everything is about speed now. Everyone wants to develop quickly. So instead, they'll just use something that's kind of like a generalist platform that they can put whatever they want on, and it's not efficient. Like, you do that a few times, it's probably fine. But it seems like that's kind of just what everyone does for everything now. No one actually, you might have like a few really smart people that develop code that actually talks to the hardware itself. But most of the people doing programming now, I don't think are doing that at all. They're just using libraries and APIs to get what they want from stuff that's already pre-existing. And then they're just, they're making tools out of that.
There's also a risk with developing your own game engine too. That's actually how the Dreamkeeper side-scroller game was being developed. We had a guy that came to us and he was like, oh yeah, well, we're kind of buddies and I know programming and you know art, so we can make a game together. And I was like, yeah, that sounds awesome. So we did, a buttload of art for the Dreamkeeper side-scroller game, and he coded this just like you said, oh, it's a custom engine, so it's going to be even more efficient than all those peasants that are using Unity, haha. But lo and behold, one of the downsides is it's like, okay, well, we need to make sure that this is something that, like, if I got hit by a truck tomorrow, right, we could replace me as an artist if we had to. If this was like a big project where people had actually bought it on a crowdfunding thing or something, and there's like multiple stakeholders, we have to make sure that like the whole project doesn't have one point of failure. So we also have to make sure that like your thing is something that other people could potentially use or develop it within if we needed to, if we need to have more people, more hands on deck for this. And as soon as that notion got floated, somebody's like, oh, well, you know what? Actually, the whole game engine just got broken. It doesn't work ananymore. It's going to take me a while to fix it. And it's like, okay.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, actually, as soon as we launched the demo with the Volume 5 campaign, actually, we put the demo out for the side scroller and people started playing it. The main feature I think that people got into was the mace animation, because, you know, it was all this bounce and squash and stretch, so it was really fun to run around as that. But then also, as soon as people started having feedback where they're like, okay, this is really cool, but would it be possible to also change direction mid-jump, because that would be really handy and it would feel really organic and fluid. And the moment people started having ideas... No, like, the thing is, he should have been able to, no problem. It should have been super simple. But this is where the problem comes in with having like a custom engine, is like there is now a human component, an ego involved, and if that one person suddenly decides, oh, you know what, people having suggestions and changes, I don't feel like doing any of this. Oh, guys, you know what, actually the engine's
Where
broken.
have I heard that before?
Whole physics engine is broken now, and none of these changes can be made, and oh, you know what, I'll get to work on fixing it, and who knows when. And eventually it became obvious, oh, there's no intention of quote-unquote fixing this quote-unquote broken game engine, and yeah, that sucks. So on paper it would have been really cool, but the reality is, like, sometimes if you have some custom built thing, if there's like only one savant that's kind of been in charge of managing it, you know, if they suddenly decide,
An idiot, that was not a savant.
yeah, well, if they, well, I would have no way of evaluating that, but if they suddenly decide they're gonna throw their toys out the pram and go home, then it's like, okay, well then there's nothing that anyone can do about that.
Well, that's unfortunate.
I mean, first of all, the engine might suck. Second of all, if it's like, well, I've poured a bunch of money into making this thing that is maybe disposable. Well, I would like it to not be disposable. I'm pouring a bunch of money into it. I would like to be able to reuse this for other things. Well, if the person that made that engine made it so cryptic to understand that no one's going to be able to understand it to be able to change it, then it's just going to be a thing for one game. And then as soon as that guy leaves, then you're just fucked. That's the opposite of what you want.
Yeah.
You need somebody who knows how to write code in such a way that it's generalized and it's easy to understand and all that stuff. But if you're just like a hobbyist or something like that, you might not know how to do that. You might be able to write a game engine that can make that one thing, but it's going to be just it's just a pointless amount of effort for something. Like if you're not doing it for a very specific reason like that, you need the performance. Like you want to run this thing on like Game Boy Advance or something like that, then yeah, go ahead and make your own engine. But there's just not a reason to do that at the moment. I think for like, you know, I just told a story about how annoying it is that File Explorer on Windows 11 uses some stupid web app to run it instead of just like running on, I don't know, C or C++ or something like that, something efficient, where like they know like how much RAM is being taken up and how to clean it all out and make sure that things are not like wasting operations. But for most cases, I think just using Unity is fine. It's not that cumbersome. It's free unless, you know, you make a certain amount of money, and unless you do something crazy like try to actually we tested this once. Even if like you instantiate like 1,000 objects in a Unity scene in a second, your computer's probably going to shrug it off. I actually forgot about that because, like, you know, now that I'm thinking about that, I'm having some ideas about Skirmish. We wrote, well, I didn't write it. the other programmer wrote an object pooler, and the whole idea of it was that creating objects inside Unity is expensive. So instead of creating a whole bunch of objects every time we need one, we'll just have a pool. We'll basically make like 20 of this thing, right? as many as would ever need to be on screen at one time, and then we'll just like get them whenever we need them. But I think I was having a conversation with him one day, and I was like, how much does this, like, how much pooling do we actually need to do before like it becomes a problem? You know what, let's just run a test. So I made like a scene where it created like 1,000 card objects in a single frame, and like my computer just didn't even notice that it happened. That's so, you know, unless I actually, you know, I haven't done any performance testing on Skirmish so far. I might want to like grab a shitty laptop and see how it runs as like kind of an amateur test, but I don't think it's anyone's gonna have any problem rendering it. Yeah, the sprites are they're, well, you know, we want the sprite work to look good, so they're not too compressed, but I still don't think it's like gonna bother a whole lot of like modern hardware. I don't think many people are gonna have a problem with it. So yeah, I'm trying to think like what's something that like a small team would do that would just make an Unreal or excuse me, a Unity engine project look like shit and like run at like 2 frames per second. I can't really think, like, I think you would actually have to try your ass off to do that.
I think this was also like the era where the side scroller guy was doing his thing. That was in an era where,
and for like a side scroll, like Unity, if you want, so like you were saying that he can't go back and forth or something. Like people were complaining that you couldn't like move while you're in midair or something like that.
Oh yeah, they just wanted to be able to change direction when you're in midair from a jump.
Yeah, so in Unity, that's like baked in. You don't even have to ask for it. It's just there.
Yeah, sure. Like I think though that the era when he embarked on this quest was also when there was a lot of, it's when Unity was not as good then as it is now. I think it's from what I hear, it's a lot more flexible. It's a lot more efficient now. You can customize it to sort of include what you need and kind of trim out what you don't need, so that you don't have this huge burden on your computer. But at the time that, like, because we were talking about this back in 2011 is when I first was like, oh yeah, it'd be cool to animate a video game. I think Unity.
I think Unity was still kind of new at the time.
Yeah, it wasn't as efficient, and more to the point, I think there was a lot of video game YouTubers, about here's how you make video games, guys. A lot of those people were shitting on Unity in their YouTube videos. So this guy got the idea that like, yeah, Unity's the worst, and I can actually program my own thing way better. And it's like, okay.
Can you though?
Well, if he's to be trusted, then actually no, he can't, because he broke the whole thing immediately as soon as people started providing feedback.
It sounds like he smashed it. But yeah, like even if he, yeah, it's just an undertaking to have to do something like that. I don't know. I mean, it really depends on what kind of engine you're making, but unless you really need the performance, you don't really have to worry about that. I would maybe hesitate using Unreal, because Unreal seems to have way too much shit in it. It's like Unreal is pretty good if you just sort of want the game to look good, and you can add in built features for lighting and all this stuff, and everything will just look fucking great. They have all these technologies for optimization, and yeah, so you just won't have to think about all that stuff. But it's probably it might make your application huge. You might have it doing something that it just really doesn't need to be doing and just killing performance. I don't know. It's probably not worth it now. I mean, you could probably, I don't know what Game Maker looks like these days, but you could probably make a game in Game Maker and like it'd just be fine.
Probably. The only thing that I heard, I don't know if this is even still applicable, but what I heard back in those development days was that what I really wanted to do was make sure that the character animation was like really fluid, lots of squash and stretch and secondary motion and bounce, and just make it look as though you were actually playing through a side-scrolling traditionally animated film. Like that was sort of the vibe I wanted, was like I want this to be like a traditionally animated adventure film. It looks like on the same level as like a Don Bluth movie. It's just that you're playing through it. And I guess at the time he was like, yeah, that would be cool. The reason that everyone doesn't do that all the time is because loading all of those animation frames is actually like a significant load on the computer. Sometimes the 3D stuff is actually easier to get the computer to play with because it's just calculating based on a few vectors or something. Whereas if you have all of this rigid pixelated 2D information that is like tied to like dozens and dozens or hundreds of frames, that could actually be like a big drain on the computer's hardware.
I'm wondering, I mean, maybe you could tell me. Wondering how many like frames we were really talking about here, because I've looked at your animations for Skirmish and they're like high fidelity, they're smooth, but I mean, like one animation might be like maybe 14 frames.
Yeah, the Skirmish animations are a little shorter. Well, even like the Mace jumping and running and ducking animations, there'd be like an extra scattering of frames. And like if he ducks, it's not just like standing frame, 2 in-betweens, he's ducked. There'd be like 3 or 4 or maybe like 5 frames of like ears flopping on the way after he gets to the bottom, because it's like the thing that makes the animation really seem fluid and bouncy. It's not like it takes longer. It's not like you want the animation to last really long and be a slower motion. You want the motion to still be nice and crisp, but then after the motion is over, you let like the ears and the tail and everything kind of flop around a little bit, because that's where the momentum comes in, and that's where it feels, I think, a little more tactile. So there was like, maybe 6 more frames on the tail end of significant motions, but I don't think it was as huge of a deal as it was being made out to be at the time. Oh, Liz says I have an important question. Liz, what's the question? What main 3 Dreamkeepers and GarageBand girls would be friends with each other? Yeah, I would say like Nama.
Wait, 3 Dreamkeepers or 3 GarageBand?
Main 3 Dreamkeepers.
He's asking for a mix.
And GarageBand girls. I don't know.
Like both 3 of both? This is like a Totally Spies situation.
Yeah, I think that Vanth and Nama would be good candidates. Nama because Nama has like sort of the right attitude to fit in with like the bad kids, and Vanth because Vanth has like the musical upbringing from her mom that she was kind of shoehorned into. So Vanth would be able to actually be a pretty good component of a rock band if she had the opportunity.
Kaylee.
Oh, Kaylee would be. I don't know if Kaylee can sing well, but she would have the enthusiasm at least. I don't know if Lilith would be super comfortable among them. She's like the bookish 4.0 GPA, kind of like introvert. So yeah, I think she would think that they're a bad influence. So I would think like probably Kaylee, Nama, and Vanth would be more ready to rock it out with the GarageBand crew. Yeah, Phil98 actually came to the same conclusion in the chat as I did, so we're thinking along the same lines here. Oh, cool. I like pictures. Mamo makes really cool pictures. Yeah, the Chomps comic was adorable. Thank you again for that, Mamo. That was really nice. That was a fun surprise.
Those were really good. Those were really good.
She peed in the kitchen about it? She got so excited that we didn't even show her the comic. She just knew there was a comic and she's like, I'm thrilled. Time to pee in the kitchen. Yeah, Chomps. That was... Oh, do you know that we're talking about you as soon as I use the phrase peed in the kitchen? I see how it is. I give her a hard time, but to be fair, it's like the farthest location from her habitat, and so it's also easy to clean up. It's like a hard surface, so that's good. So it, like really, it's in terms of like lizard hygiene, she is actually doing as good as a lizard can reasonably be expected to do. No, she does not. Why would she poop in her habitat? That would be gross, and she knows that.
I'm going to get a full schematic of the Vivid Cruiser.
Are you going to get a full schematic of the Vivid Cruiser?
Don't ask me. I don't know.
Don't ask me. I just work here. I will say, let me open
Somebody
up
answered the question already.
I know I've got orthographic views of it that I need to shade eventually. I just haven't done it yet because they are so gigantic, and I've got other views of them that I've been using for most of like the captain's log shots and things like that. But yeah, they're not. Well, I have them blocked, but I don't have them shaded yet. Yeah, exactly. It's not immediately necessary. But I don't know if these count as schematics. But you'll see some detailed versions of the ship components at some point. 'Cause that's cool.
Donkey Kong tech comment. I'm sorry that Donkey Kong exists. So that every time I see DK, I just think of Donkey Kong.
Happens.
DK.
Donkey Kong.
People are gonna have to come up with like a.
Rumble bunch.
People are gonna have to come up with some kind of like different acronym, like for, because Supreme Commander and StarCraft are both RTS games, and they both have the acronym SC. People got confused, so they started calling Supreme Commander SupCom. So we're gonna have to do like,
Dream Keep.
Well, it's not that much shorter.
Maybe DK number 1, so people
maybe-
know which one is like the best. DK, but not in parentheses, but not Donkey Kong.
DK number 1.
But not Donkey Kong, not that one. No. Till the break of dawn.
Me number 1. Me have the most bananas. Me have way more bananas than Dreamkeepers.
You know him well.
Yeah, why is she trying to get into the Forbidden Zone again?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why I got that second box.
She's trying to escape into the Shadow Realm, which she's not allowed to do.
No, she is. There's one spot in the house where she's not allowed to go because it's impossible to get her out again, and that's why she always is trying to get there. So Liz has set up the traps, the great obstacles, the barriers to entry, and Chomps is just trying to dig through the side of those Zevia boxes as we speak.
That seems to be a common thread that links all creatures together. Is if there's some place that like something is not supposed to go, it wants to go there more.
Yes.
You see it with like cats. Anytime, like your cats are smart. They know when they're not supposed to be somewhere and when like people are gonna get mad. So they will find ways to go places that they're not supposed to be without you knowing it.
Liz is over there like my grandma at estate sales. Yes, Liz, like your grandma at estate sales. When there's a little barrier that says, this is not a part of the estate sale, please do not go in this part of the house. Liz's grandma, she'd like beeline to that shit and be like, just like, that is where she'd be going, and that is where she'd be.
She didn't know?
Yeah, then she'd like play dumb, like, oh, I'm just old. I didn't know I wasn't supposed to rifle through these drawers. It's like, yes, you did.
These drawers that had padlocks on them, I thought they were totally on limits. I didn't know.
Yeah, no, that's basically exactly it. If she could pick the lock, she probably would have. Liz had a firecracker of
I
a
had to pick a
grandma.
lock to get in, but I didn't know.
I didn't know I couldn't do that.
Well, yeah, that's how you know about it, because she did it in front of you. That's like implicit in the story. Now watch closely. This is how you break the law.
You know, I think people in chat are of course are asking for Dreamkeepers to eclipse Donkey Kong, and I think I don't know, it might happen. I don't know how well the new Donkey Kong game went, but
Liz says she does not want to be in a movie with Mario. I'm gonna take it further and say, obviously, Donkey Kong and Dreamkeepers, there can be no peaceful coexistence. It's like Highlander. When it comes to creative franchises, if you look at how artists behave online, it's because they all know that it's like Highlander. There can be only one. There can be only one thing that people pay attention to. Yeah, zero-sum mindset. It's impossible for people to enjoy more than one franchise. It's impossible for people to be like, you know what, I like this comic, and now I think I'll also read that comic. Boy, it was kind of cool to read 2 comics. I'm happy about that. Artists, no, that's a lie. If they're not reading your comic, then they are lost to you forever. You must destroy every other piece of franchise material in existence. Then all the customers will be yours. That's why you see so much cannibalism out there. And it's crazy though. Like seriously, if you look at how people act like on social media, even like in the indie animation stuff, they've been like going bananas lately.
yeah, I think I saw something about that. I couldn't remember what the thing was called, but somebody like made fun of Gameverse thing.
Yeah, I was actually thinking
Their
about
own
that.
indie project.
I think their project is going to be like called Chimptopia or something. But they made a little animated thing like, you're like, oh, Gameoverse, you know, like, snark, you guys probably wouldn't like that. And then they like beat up the Gameoverse character behind a tree, and it's like, yeah, okay. Like, I don't think that they were really going for that zero-sum mindset stuff so much. I think they were just like fucking around and seeing, hey, maybe we can get a little attention this way. Which they did get a little attention, but they brought in like an army of screeching people. They're just like, how dare you make fun of them? We're gonna kill you! No one's ever gonna look at your stuff! You're gonna die! You're
That's
gonna die
probably
alone!
what they wanted.
We're gonna kill your grandmother now! We're gonna find her! Like, just...
It's fucking Terrence and Perry from fucking home movies commenting on it.
But it's like, it's crazy the amount of hatred and like vitriol just like erupts as soon as someone like touches like like it's a cartoon, bro. Do you think cartoons can't make fun of things? That's sort of what they're there for. Were these guys making fun of something in poor taste? Oh no. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, you know, there's a way of doing something where like you if you're gonna do something like that, it's got to be funny, and if it's not, like how people say that if you're going to do an impression of somebody, you have to like the person to do it, or else the impression is not going to be good.
Yeah, I've heard that.
I think that kind of applies to a lot of stuff. So if you're not doing it with like a certain finesse, people can kind of sniff it, and it doesn't really end up doing what they wanted it to do.
Yeah.
Civet AI is down, so we can't get the GarageBand art.
Okay, Liz is telling me that Civet AI is currently down, so the GarageBand art will have to wait, everyone. Yeah, I'm not even saying that these guys were absolutely hilarious and no one should ever criticize them ever. It's like, no, whatever. I hope that they can take the heat because they decided to visit the kitchen that day. But just the anger, the seething vitriol that so many like people are reacting with is just so funny. It's like you guys, you can say, hey, I don't think that was very funny. You guys, it's kind of lame. Maybe you should promote your own thing instead of like comparing yourself with other creators. Like, okay, yeah, fine, fair enough. But I don't know. Seriously, the cartoon fans on the internet are some of the most like vicious, unforgiving, merciless people in existence. It's so great. It's hilarious.
I think when I was reading about that, I think somebody retweeted it and posted a video of like one of those old like 2000s gaming mascot fight ads, you know, like everyone that had a gaming mascot had to make some ad where like they'd be like, Mario's too slow, here comes Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic's
Yeah.
super fast and he's got blast processing and all this stuff. And then like I think the one that he posted was for Ty the Tasmanian Devil. Yeah. Am I thinking of the Warner Brothers Tasmanian Devil, or is it actually called the Tasmanian Devil?
I think it
No,
actually
no,
is.
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Warner Brothers.
it is called that. It's Taz, the Tasmanian Devil.
Or no, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger,
I'll be right back.
something like I don't know, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Some Tasmanian creature. But anyways, yeah, it was like an ad that started off with like Crash Bandicoot, Mario, Sonic. I think like maybe a fourth one, just covered up in bandages, and it was just like there's one that was like an X-ray where like somebody had a boomerang in their liver. This Ty was like an Australian that was like from an Australian gaming company. So of course, you know, it's all a bunch of Australian shit. So he's got like a boomerang in his fucking in his like stomach or something like that. And it's just, you know, that's like a marketing thing that people have always kind of done. It's usually not that big of a deal. But
Coke versus Pepsi.
I don't know. What's that?
The Cola Wars.
The what wars?
The Cola Wars. I'm hearing a lot of noise. Hold on.
Cola.
Yeah, Cola Wars.
I thought sound like you're saying Cola Wars, and I was like, what?
The Cholera Wars.
The Cholera Wars.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of too. Is like Pepsi versus Coca-Cola and all that stuff.
I think it'd be kind of funny if someone did one of those commercials like Mario's too slow, and then Mario's like, oh, and like he falls off to the side, and then the commercial goes forward, you know, towards Sonic, like whereas Sonic has blast, but then the camera just like goes away from Sonic and goes back to Mario lying in the ditch, and he's like, ah, and there's just this montage of Mario like suffering, like he's in a hospital bed with an IV hooked up, like beep beep, you know, it's like we're losing him, we're not sure if he's gonna, and instead of like focusing on like how fast Sonic is and his blast processing, it just turns into this extremely uncomfortable, drawn out depiction of Mario's like suffering and insufficiency, and then like at the very end of this commercial it just gets progressively darker and more disturbing. It's just like Sonic 2 coming from Sega.
Here's my idea for a gaming mascot ad. It's just 90% of it is like Mario, he defeats Bowser and he comes home to his broken family. His wife is not as affectionate as she used to be. His kids are just little monsters that don't love him. They never really feel like make him feel like a true father. And it's just like 5 minutes of like this shit. And at the very end, it's like tie to Tasmanian Tiger.
Yeah, I think that's the exact same genre of commercial.
38 unique levels. That's way cooler than Marital Problem. Yeah, like even like the Coke ads, or I don't know if it was Pepsi or Coke or whoever had the coolest ads, but they
Pepsi
even
for
those
TV
ones were
game.
What?
Pepsi for TV game.
Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Yeah, the ads were not. They were never like. They never really seemed all that vicious. It was just Pepsi tastes better than Coca-Cola. Deal with it, or something like that. It was, who cares? But I don't know. It doesn't seem like people can really restrain themselves anymore. And I think having your what's very clearly a Gamerverse character get his ass beat behind a tree is maybe like a little bit too much. Not very subtle, you might say.
It got like a small like from me. So I don't know. I'm not
the
like sold
problem
on
is
their.
that
I'm not like sold on their show from it necessarily, but I was like,
the problem is that what they animated there didn't actually talk about the Kickstarter at all that they're running, and people were judging their animation look like Family Guy.
Are they
Yeah.
actually running a Kickstarter though? I didn't even see
Yeah,
a link
they
to
are.
it.
No, so yeah, that's the thing is they're gonna do a Kickstarter and they didn't advertise it.
Yeah, that's like
Everyone's
That's
talking
like
about
trying
that and not the Kickstarter.
to of course bring things back to video games. I can't help myself. That would be like having Super Mario Brothers compete with like a Tiger Electronics Pong console. Those little like $20 things you'd find at this toy store that run like 2 AA batteries, and it was just like Yeah, I didn't. I looked at that and all. The only thing that I thought about is Gameverse. It's probably not. It's probably not what you want to do with your advertisement.
I think that so many people just reacted so viciously to it. The Gameoverse fans in particular seem to just, they didn't really come out and be like, not really for me. They came out and it was like a little feeding frenzy. I think it's because, I don't know, I haven't seen Gameoverse, so I don't know if it's good or not, but I've heard a lot of people say that it's like very bad and, poorly written and stuff like that. It might be greatly written, I don't know. But I'm just saying there's a lot of opinions circulating that are negative, so I think the Gameoverse fans, when their thing is getting attacked, I feel like the people that enjoyed it, they feel like they feel as though they are getting attacked. Like their taste is under attack. Like their enjoyment is under attack. So I feel like that, to me, that's why I'm like, well, why are people taking this so personally? I think it's because they personally feel like the validity of their enjoyment is being attacked, and so that's why they react in such a visceral way. That's my theory.
Yeah, which I mean, we could probably get into a philosophical, maybe not philosophical, a discussion about like social sciences and social media and like how that has affected things. I kind of get caught up into it too. Like I get very offended, not about like having a thing that I like be shit on or something like that, but just like everyone knows that things are getting shittier now, and when we go online and you try to point it out, people just tell you that you're miserable and just enjoy things, and if you don't like it, just ignore it. But that's just like it's not how stuff works. And I think like that kind of attitude that people seem to have is just making it even worse. Like all the people that are getting way too invested in, movies or video games or whatever specific thing, Star Wars, for example. The people that get really invested in that, like that was already bad enough, but now if you just say, I don't know, Star Wars is kind of shitty now, you will get a bunch of people that aren't even there to defend Star Wars. They're just there to tell you that if you don't like something, that you should just shut the fuck up. And like all that's going to do is that's just going to drive all those people like even deeper into their obsession with whatever thing. So I think it's just like everything else. It's just everything is becoming more divisive, and I'm starting to feel it too.
I think part of the reason that people get so like that is because I don't think this used to be a thing, but like our generation, they've sort of adopted this idea that was very successfully marketed, which is like, oh, the entertainment you consume, this thing that you watch that you enjoy, or this game that you play that you enjoy, that's not just a thing that you enjoyed, that's your identity. Now that's you.
Part of you. You're
a Star Wars fan. You're not just some guy that watched Star Wars and enjoyed it or didn't. No. This is who you are. This is your identity. Like you are now co-signing.
Shirt.
Yeah, you're now co-signing the existence of this. You're gonna advertise it every waking moment of your life with like the T-shirt. So as soon as people, because I think part of it is like, I don't want to tell people, oh, you enjoyed that. You're wrong. Stop enjoying. If people are having a good time, there's precious little joy in this world, so I say let them have it. But at the same time, you have to let other people discuss like, oh, is this good or is this kind of shitty, or like how could this be better? So it should be a pretty simple solution called like, you know what? If you enjoy something and it's shitty, just be like, oh yeah, sometimes I enjoy a shitty movie. Like maybe sometimes I enjoy a shitty B movie or whatever. But as soon as people, it's not like whether they enjoyed it or not. It's not whether it's good. Suddenly it's like, oh, no. If I enjoyed it, then it has to be good by definition because that's my identity.
I'm good, so everything I like is good.
Yeah, and then as soon as someone's like, this thing that you enjoyed, actually it's kind of shitty, it turns into like, it's not just like something outside of themselves that's being evaluated. It feels like a personal attack to them because psychologically they've put their own identity right into the quality assessment of this external piece of media.
Or like a person. I don't know. I know for a long time there were like anytime you would have any kind of criticism of Aaron Hansen or like any of the Game Grumps stuff, like there'd just be like there'd be people, I guess, that would just sit on Twitter all day and just search for people who were talking about like Aaron Hansen or something. And like you would say just like, yeah, I don't know, I just don't think he needs to be in everything. I think maybe it'd be funny to have a show that he wasn't in somewhere or something. It's kind of like the Wilhelm Scream thing. Nothing against Aaron Hansen, just, you know, maybe he doesn't need to have a cameo in every last thing on Earth. And then there'd be like 13 people who would come into your mentions and be like, how fucking dare you? I will come to your house. I will kill you. There's nothing wrong with Aaron Hansen or his wife, Susie.
And it's all Aaron Hansen.
I don't think it is.
So then Aaron Hansen halts.
Aaron Hansen's like, man, it's a lot of work to keep up 11,000 sock
Aaron
accounts.
Hansen.
But it's totally worth it.
What's very funny to me is like how he shit on like Senior Palo for like, I don't know, he made like a video. I don't even remember what the video was that he made. He made something about like the commentary YouTubers or something like that. They were kind of like, you know, just kind of like shitting on how shitty like a lot of the art YouTube channels were. And then Aaron Hansen comes in and he's just like, this is mean or something. Like, all right, it's mean. Thanks for that kindergarten teacher analysis of this video, Aaron. And there was like this whole thing like where he was like shitting on it. People, I think like Chris O'Neill and people like that all come and like we're just like, dude, shut the fuck up. But like now Aaron, Chris, and Senior Palo are all like in some of the same cartoons. Like, you know, they're not like in the booth together, but their voices are all in these cartoons together. So like all those people who are all like, kind of like arguing over like what is the proper way to do X, Y, or Z in like voice acting or cartoons or whatever, all of them ended up in the same fucking place. They're all like doing the same fucking show. All three of those people are in Amazing Digital Circus.
Oh, no kidding.
Aaron Hansen is in that?
Yeah, he's in the last episode, the movie. Well, not really a movie, but like the last episode that's in theaters as if it were a movie. And I thought he did good. I thought him, Chris, and Senior Palo all did good. I thought they did great. I didn't even recognize any of them when they were first there, except for, well, Senior Palo. I kind of was like, I think that's that guy. But they're all, you know, they're all sprinkled in throughout the show here and there, except for Aaron, who's only at the end, I believe. And they all did a great job. And I thought the show was funny. But I'm just really...
Glitch Productions has pictures of you doing something that you shouldn't have been doing.
Yeah.
And
I will say I've seen clips of Gameaverse, which is like I think that's Ross's thing. Like it's like a Game Grumps thing. And yeah, there's a reason the only thing you ever see about that show is the cat girl. Because like the clips I've seen, nothing else is good except for the animation. The animation's good, and the cat girl's cute, and that's pretty much it. Like I don't think I've not seen Gameaverse. It could be a fucking cinematic masterpiece for all I know, but the clips I've seen, they do not lend themselves well to the opinion to me that would be something probably even worth bothering with. But you know, I don't know. Again, it could be good if you like it, whatever. But I probably won't watch it because of some of the clips I've seen.
Yeah, I'm fine with there being stuff in the world that I don't like. But there comes a time I'm experienced, of course, again, video games. I experience this a lot with video games because, and I imagine people that really like movies experience this too, where there's just nothing except for just shit. Yeah. It's just always like way over budget, way too crazy, and it never just you can't even get something that's like quaint and just does what it sets out to do. That's like elegance to me. Is here's like a pencil. A pencil is elegant, it's easy to use, it's cheap, it just writes, and you can erase it. That's like, it's perfect. It doesn't need to be any more complicated. You don't need to take a pencil and add a whole bunch of bells and whistles to it to make it way more than it needs to be. Add like points of failure and all this stuff. But like, there's all this stuff that just doesn't do that. It's just we need everything to be $500 million, and we're not gonna like succeed at any single individual thing that we set out to do. And it's just frustrating. And that's like, it's all that you have to choose from now. It's just shit like that. Now for like video games, of course you've got indie games. But you know, Steam gets 20,000 of those a year. So good luck finding the exact thing that you're looking for or whatever. A lot of them are probably going to be shit too. So
I'm going to say too, for all the benefits that AI could bring to the table as a tool, it's going to have that same effect on the film and video market as well. There's going to be 20,000 new movies a year, and like I'm sure that it's going to be cool because there's probably going to be 2 or 3 movies that are really, really good that could not have existed otherwise. But good luck finding those.
How do you find them?
Yeah, it's like looking for like I don't know, it's like looking for like a teeny tiny little diamond that someone has thrown onto a beach where everything else is grains of sand. It's just like I don't know how that's gonna work, but
And it all looks alike, by the way.
well, yeah, that's why I used the analogy of this grain.
No, no.
yeah, and that's been a problem before.
I was commenting on the visual quality of the AI. That's all.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like commenting on my analogy. Like it's like looking for a needle in a haystack. Yeah, and do you know that needles and pieces of hay actually look pretty close? Yes.
That's the joke.
I'm helping, husband. I'm helping.
Just turning it into a tectonic bit for a second there.
Yeah, I imagine that there's people out there that look at stuff like the amazing digital circus and Gameaverse, and they're just I'm sure that there's people that are very passionate about whether or not those should exist because they feel like their own thing or like the stuff that they like is being pushed away. Yeah, maybe that kind of stuff is just kind of that it just applies to everything, but because it's not something I care about, I look at that and I'm just like, you know, whatever, it exists. Like, what's the big deal? It can just be over in its own little corner, and if people like it, then they can just enjoy it, and if you don't like it, you can just ignore it.
Yeah, I kind of think that that's a good attitude to have in general about stuff. It's like that, but I want that to be paired with accurate like reviews and critique. So that way, if there's all this stuff that exists and it's like, oh, some of it isn't worth my time, if I can just instantly like have some review or label or something where it's like, okay, here's the stuff that's worth your time. Here's the stuff that based on what you like, this stuff isn't really your cup of tea. It's not worth your time. So I think that what I would value ultimately is time optimization for people trying to connect with entertainment that will actually bring value to their experience in this world. Because I can understand if someone is like, oh, well, I like this sort of thing, and that sort of thing is just flooding my timeline, and I can't, and I'm looking for the stuff I like, and it takes so much more time to find it. So I think what it really comes down to is like time.
Yeah. I mean, you get that with like, what do they call it? Product fatigue, when just everywhere you go. Like I experienced this with Undertale. People in chat will know what that is.
I got it with Digital
I don't know if
Circus
Undertale. What's that?
I got that product fatigue with Digital Circus and seeing all that merch everywhere.
Yeah, like I remember one day I was Christmas shopping with my mom, and I had barely encountered this thing. I think I actually watched that first episode that they put up. It's like all that there was, and then I just didn't pay attention to it after that. And then like it was like months later that I just saw these dolls of one of the characters, like the clown girl, everywhere, and I'm like, this, and it kind of looked like they were trying to sell it to kids, and I was like,
yeah,
is this a kid show? I don't think it was.
It's in the Walmart kids
weird.
section. Yeah,
you're doing like a RoboCop thing.
Well, I mean, they can't really put that toy in the Walmart adult toy section. There isn't one of those.
I don't know where.
I thought Walmart did have adult toys section.
Yeah,
Do
wasn't
they?
it called like Hot Topic or something?
Like the clown dolls for grown-ups? The Walmart section, here's the clown
That's-
dolls for the adults.
Yeah, I think that's what adult toys means.
I think all that stuff just ends up in bookstores, and I don't know. I don't know like what
Hot
like
Topic.
what type of and Hot Topic, like what type of store is Hot Topic?
It goes to die in Ollie's
Just like-
eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like I would think it would be somewhere in there, but not where like the kids, because I think it was right next to Pikachu. I suppose you could make the argument that Pikachu has broad appeal, but I don't actually think it does. I think if you're like I don't know, there might be some girls out there that do Twitch streams and they have 400 fucking stuffed animals on their bed like they're a 6-year-old. Maybe that would appeal to them, but I don't know. It kind of looks like they're just trying to sell it to kids. Yeah, but yeah, that and like Undertale had that effect on me too, because it was just like Undertale just was a cut above everything else that was coming out as far as indie games go, and no one could shut up about it. Everyone thought it was the greatest thing ever because it reminded them of Earthbound, and Earthbound was another unique Super Nintendo game that no one's like made like a great sequel. Well, okay, there was a sequel to it, but let's not get into that. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's not something that you get a lot of. You get a million Final Fantasy games, you just don't get a whole lot of that kind of thing. And it's subversive. People like subversive stuff. But I just I looked at it and I just thought it was just kind of mediocre. And of course, like everyone would call me if I said that to anybody, people would just call me like a retard and that I have no taste and all that. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. It just doesn't look good. What do you want from me?
Your head on a platter.
Yeah,
Apology.
the
Just
only-
apologize. Public apology.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for these mean things that I said on Undertale. Please stop
Yeah,
talking.
just
Stop.
apologize and then we'll stop hurting you.
I love that
Yeah.
hard man working hard
And delete
song.
everything you do. Yeah, and delete everything you do and put a public apology and submit.
Yeah, for anyone that has been dead for the last
apology.
10 years, in case you're wondering, no, apologizing to the internet mob never, ever, ever works. Don't do that.
Don't bend the knee.
That's like apologizing to sharks by squirting some blood in the water. Be like, you guys are really going after me. What if I accepted your framework that I have done something wrong by expressing regret and remorse? Would that make you decide to call off this feeding frenzy? Or would that just like be chumming the water with my own blood? Which one would it be? I'm real curious. Again, if you've been asleep for the last decade, it's they are not your friends. They don't, if you notice, they don't want people to apologize because there's no such thing as forgiveness or mercy or even a dim capacity for understanding in the heads of these people that do this. The only thing they perceive is if they have social permission to hurt you. And as soon as they have social permission, especially social permission that's co-signed by the victim, they're off to the races.
Yeah, and it's always the most loving people on the planet that behave like this, by the way.
Naturally.
Apology is proof that you've done something wrong, and then that opens the door to now we punish.
Yeah, and now
And double down.
you did not just learn evil, you just are evil in your heart. Because you, I don't know, you said that Sans Undertale is retarded or something like that.
Look out for the people that have empathy in their bio. They're the most vicious ones.
Yeah, Earthbound was a good game. You won't get me talking shit about Earthbound, even though since Undertale came out, everyone wants to make a fucking Earthbound game and thinks it's fucking cool. But it's not cool. The guy that was like the heart of that game made it because like he wanted his kids. He wanted to make a game like about his kids or something like that his kids could play and not have it be Final Fantasy where you're like some fucking dragon slayer or something like that. That was like the inspiration for that stuff. And then of course, he you know, he made Mother 3, which is Earthbound 2, whatever. He made Mother 3, which is a fucking horrifying game that I played the beginning of, and then I kind of didn't want to play it anymore because it was so fucking depressing. But anyways, yeah, like, oh yeah, we were kind of talking about this earlier, about like, I think you said something to the effect of like people should go and do stuff to get inspiration for their creative work or something like that. Maybe I made that up.
No, yeah, like something where it's like it's more than just regurgitating the last thing they consumed. They need to get like some kind of connection to reality of their own.
Yeah, I think you do need to have that kind of grounding to make like truly good stuff. But the people that are making, I don't think I've seen a single example that was not this, but the people that are making stuff that's like, I'm going to make an Earthbound game. The only thing that they're thinking about is Earthbound. They're mixing something else into it. Like I would really like to make a game that was like Digimon World. But if I went and made, and that was like, I don't know. I don't know if anyone I don't know if a lot of people played that game or not, but it was not like Pokemon. It was like a pet simulator where you had to take care of a monster, and you also like went off on an adventure, and it had these really interesting pre-rendered backgrounds and everything. And it was just like a cool world. And I remember playing that game, and I just like
Did you watch the show, Gabe?
I did watch the show. I was a big Digimon fan when I was a kid.
Okay.
I have a bunch of Digimon shit around my room, actually, like little toys and shit from my childhood. But anyhow, yeah, there's stuff about that game that transcends that it like I like the monster genre of video games or something like that. It's just there's an interesting world in there, and I wanted to explore it, and it made me like feel a certain way. And so if I wanted to make something that reminds you of Digimon World, I would want it to be like, I would want to put like myself in it, stuff that I felt at that time, and I sort of like want a new generation to have that. It wouldn't look exactly like Digimon World. It would be like, well, you know, that game was made for PS1, and we don't have PS1 now. We have PS6, or we'll probably have a PS7 by the time I ever make anything like this. But yeah, like I think you sort of need to like pour other stuff that's not just member berries shit. You know, you may like Star Wars, and you may want to make something that's like Star Wars, but if you just make Star Wars with like 1 degree of separation, okay, they don't use lightsabers, they use beam sabers. They don't use the Force, they use the wave or something. Just like one level of abstraction of difference, and like, wow, it's new. Look, I made a new thing. I'm gonna just like make a Frankenstein monster of a bunch of other stuff that I like and tape it all together, and it's new. I think you do need to have something a little bit extra.
Yeah, some people can use a lot of inspiration from pre-existing things and get good results, but I still think ultimately, like, you can feel it if you're like watching a movie or something, and you're like, wow, this person really watched Marvel movies, and they really, and that seems to be what they're bringing to the table with this movie. Their sensibilities as a screenwriter. It's like, hey, did you see a lot of Marvel movies? Were you a 90s kid? Did you watch a lot of TV? You did? All right, I can definitely pick up on that from the script. And there's nothing else here. Nothing else to see.
Yeah, that's just all of Stranger Things, basically. Remember the 90s? Remember the 80s? Remember Dungeons and Dragons? Yeah, all that stuff is still around. You can, and we have recording devices. We can just experience all that stuff right now.
Yeah, that's sort of like, when it comes to nostalgia bait and stuff like that, I almost, like, sometimes if you're that nostalgic about the old thing, it's like, well, then go consume it again. It's still there. You can still do it. Like, you know, get a PS1.
Yeah, if only that were enough. You know, I would just play Digimon World every day, and I would never have to touch another video game. I don't know. I think I glazed that video game a little bit too much. It's not a very good game, to be honest. There are many flaws with that game. One of which is the translation, but yeah, like you should try to make new stuff, and you should also, if like something really excited you and made you feel a certain way, made you feel happy even, your goal should not be to make a carbon copy of that, but maybe like what you should be interested in is trying to replicate that feeling for people that have not experienced it before.
Yeah, I don't think
that there are a lot of things.
It's really helpful to know like why did it make you feel that way. If you understand like what resonated in you with it, then it's going to make you much more capable of replicating that experience for other people.
Mamo says he would play a PS1 Dreamkeepers game rigorously. Well, we're gonna have to make one then. Okay. There are, I don't know. There might be like an open source dev kit for PS1 games now. I know that there's one for the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
Hey, Gabe, Mamo wants to know when Skirmish is coming out.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
It's coming out tomorrow.
Yeah. As much as it would be fun to do like a Dreamkeepers PlayStation style game, or even like pick the side scroller back up, I do think we're working pretty continuously on Skirmish, so we need to make sure to get that cleared off of our plate, and then we can let our eyes wander to new projects. But I don't want to just keep on stacking project after project on the plate and then never finishing any.
Just in case it was not clear, I was joking. I don't even know how it would begin to make a PS1 Dreamkeepers game.
Oh no, I know you're joking, but I'm actually just thinking, you know,
Mamo didn't.
Yeah, our franchise has some range. I could imagine like I don't know. I really want to get back to the side scroller at some point, but again, like we gotta finish off the things that we have on our plate right now.
Yeah, it's also very expensive to do this kind of stuff. It's not necessarily easy. Or you know, if you decide to make a card game, it's not very easy. We won't. Well, we've already made the mistake. I think picking like. Here's the first game that we're like really gonna put our resources into. If we were gonna do that again, we probably would not pick a card game because the programming the logic for a card game is not easy.
It's like exactly the opposite of what the reason we picked it to. Ironically, I was like, well, if we're gonna start with video games, let's start with something that's like relatively attainable. Hey, this card game, it's already finished. We've already got the rules. We already know people really like it. They are asking to be able to play it. And I mean, plus, it's just a bunch of like, oh, this card says that, this card says that. That seems like it should be way simpler than like jumping around and things exploding and physics engines. And yeah, a card game, that's probably going to be the easiest thing to program. No.
Yeah. I wish, if only I had a time machine, I'd just be like, don't do it. And also, start working out right now. Because building a lot of muscle takes a really long time. It's that like we were talking about this earlier. Like Unity has all this stuff built into it. The side scroller stuff, it's a solved problem. Now, if you want it to behave a very specific way, you'll have to go in and customize that yourself. But you'll be customizing stuff that already exists. We have to write custom logic to make all these cards work, and some of the cards are just like they're very unique. So some of them have completely exclusive logic that's only for them. The Wisp cards are an example of this. Wisp herself has a mechanic that none of the other characters have because she and all of her deck Wisps are counted as leaders. None of the other characters do that. So like if you want to pay resolve off of a character, you can just pick any of them, but otherwise it has to be filtered. But like, why would you put filtering logic in there if you didn't know? So you know, it just goes on and on and on. It's no bueno. Don't make a card game unless unless you're making something like Hearthstone. I don't know much about Hearthstone. I don't even know if people play that anymore. But that seems like a much more predictable game.
I will say though, like on the plus side for Skirmish. It's way more work than we sort of understood going into it, since we were not veteran game developers. But we're like, the fact that we're actually getting through it, I think we're gonna have something that's like really cool and unique, and it's not going to be like something that people can get anywhere else, because there is so much custom stuff that has to be built into this. So I think at the end of the line, we're gonna have something that's like really special.
Steam actually had I think it was called like a deck builder fest or something like that. I think it was like last month that they did that.
Oh, cool.
Might have been a little bit longer ago, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, the deck games, card games are not like a rare thing. And now, like, since I can't remember the name of the game, there was some roguelike version of a card game that got really popular. And I think it was like a solo dev type situation. So he probably wouldn't think that he was gonna make overnight success, but because of that, and because card games were kind of just like a thing already, there's tons and tons of card games, but I can't say that I've seen one that has the kind of animation, like some of the design philosophy that this one does. So at the very least, I think we'll be able to say that it's a unique experience. It's not just, here's another deck builder, guys. It's just like Slay Spire or I can't think of any other examples. It's like Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I do think the fact that there's a more limited deck for each of the leader heroes, and then there's like combinations of it. To me, it maybe I'm like misfiring, but it feels like it has a little more elegance than a lot of deck builder games, where it's like, oh well, there's hundreds and hundreds and thousands of cards that you could potentially build your deck with, and that almost seems like there's just like, I don't know, when there's like hundreds and hundreds of cards, and you have to figure out which ones you stick in your deck, and there's almost no way you can really balance that out properly. But when each leader, it's like, nope, they're limited to 20.
Not doing that.
So it's like a number of known quantities, and then it's just like, how do you use them and how do you combine them? To me, that starts to be a little bit more like an actual elegant game, and less like just a labyrinth of buttons to push where there's not really any rhyme or reason to it.
Yeah, this may shock people. I don't really like card games all that much. You don't necessarily need to be a card game player to program a card game. That's really more of a design thing, which, is kind of well, I'd say Hazen's really. I guess he's like the designer, and any kind of changes that we make to the actual feel of the game, that's more of. Any of those types of things go to him, and he'll say if it's good or not. But for the most part, I just handle the programming and I just try to make it work. But I do appreciate that the decks are static, so you don't have to think about it. I mean, I know there are probably some people that really like card games and will look at that and go, well, what the like, of course you would want to be able to customize your deck. I mean, that's like playing a shooting game and not being able to pick your gun. Well, games used to be like that. It used to be that you play Team Fortress and you had one loadout, and that was it. And those games are really fun. I still like those games. I still like not having to like pick from a million different weapons.
Yeah. I also
it's just decision fatigue, and also it's too easy to make the wrong choice. You can assemble the wrong combination of things and just fuck yourself. So
at that point too, I think metagaming kind of starts to take more of a role when you're like deciding like, well, how am I going to approach playing this? I don't know, like it's not like the one-size-fits-all solution, but I really like the concept of elegance in game design, and I feel like chess is a really great example. Like, you don't go into chess and be like, well, what's my custom loadout gonna be? Oh man, I have to really optimize my like pawn subtype configurations. It's like, no. Part of the fact that makes it interesting and competitive and engaging on a psychological level is the fact that it's a really well-designed, well-balanced game, but everyone goes in with the same pieces, the same rules. It's like a bunch of known quantities, and then when everyone knows, like, okay, here's all the pieces on the game board, now what can we do with them? And then it brings it more into like it's less about like how many cards have you bought? Did you pay to win? And it turns more into like, well, do you understand the proper strategy to approach? Do you have a good tactical sense? Like, are you a good player, basically?
Yeah, and I don't know, like, when I think about balancing certain things, especially in competitive games, I mean, it just sounds mind-numbing. I would probably, if I was really going to tackle, like, heavy balancing on something, for something that where it's not quite obvious, I'd probably need to like read a book about it, because it's too easy to just go, okay, well, I could use Helldivers as an example of this endlessly, because they're constantly changing the way that stuff works in that game. That game is exactly what I'm describing, because you have like equipment slots. You got a primary, a secondary, a support, and then you've got these stratagems that you can call on. And you can choose from like a giant pool of these things. So of course, you know, there are going to be things in there that don't quite work as well as the rest, and there's going to be some things that is just like a no-brainer. Just take this gun; it solves every problem. Why would you take anything else? You know, that kind of stuff will arise. But then it's like that sort of stuff is kind of inevitable. What do you do about it? Well, just make the gun weaker. Okay, well now there's no good guns. Now all the guns suck. This one gun, you had one gun that was actually fun to use, and you debuffed it. So now there are no good guns. All the guns suck equally, and no one likes firing any of them equally. Great job. So it's not just as simple as just, you know, well, we'll just make it stronger, or we'll just make it weaker. There's you know, depending on what kind of game it is, there's all these dynamics that you have to think about. So I think it's much easier to balance that sort of thing if the decks are a known quantity, and the only thing that you have to worry about is one combination of things.
Yeah, well, I think that's why
and of course, even like,
I was gonna say, I think that's why Magic the Gathering, from what I was hearing about, they had to keep on like banning cards and banning certain like.
Yeah, you
builds.
always hear about that stuff.
Because, you know, on the one hand, I was like, what? They ban cards after some people spend like thousands of dollars buying Magic cards to like get these competitive decks, and then sometimes they'll build the whole deck strategy around this like key card, and then like after they spend all this money, Magic's like, oh, by the way, that card is banned from tournaments now, lol. So at first I was like, well, that's outrageous. Why would they do that? But on the other hand, like if you have like thousands of cards, and every then at that point too, like in a game system, everything can affect every other thing. So one card has potential interactions with every other one of thousands of cards, and something like that is probably mathematically impossible to actually properly play test and balance out before you launch. That's one of the reasons that I sort of like Skirmish with the limited decks, is because it's like, you know what, I think we actually can try to get these balanced and play tested and have like a nice good experience without having to go in and be like, oh, actually we're gonna ban this character or this deck because
I'm gonna
totally
ban
broken.
Tinsel. I hate Tinsel. I'm not gonna be shy about it. I hate Tinsel.
Yeah.
I think I've had arguments with Hazen about what to do with her, because when we would play the game,
I wouldn't say they were arguments. I think she's kind of broken too.
Well, I don't know.
You can fix her.
This was I'm probably yeah. I'm probably thinking back in the phase before like there was any kind of game like video game part, back when we were playing it Tabletop Simulator.
Oh my god.
And of course, like I think there were maybe some problems with the rules, like some things were not very clearly defined, so people would have different interpretations of things. I would read a card and I would go, oh, surely like Wisp doesn't have the special effect in all lanes, right? And then you'd be like, oh yeah, of course she does. I'd be like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. that would just be my reaction each time. Yeah, I don't think I feel fine with admitting that if I were solely responsible for game balancing, that I would probably do bad things. and I would for that. I think I'd probably just got all the nightmare characters. I would just make them useless, and I would make Bast and V the best characters because
Gabe is
Bast,
going to
heroes.
Gabe is going to change the system so he always wins the game. That's how we
I'm
play.
gonna-
We
I'm gonna
have,
make-
we have changed Lilith where she's not quite as useless now, but there are things in that game that are very much like balance issues. Like Bass needs a little bit of a rework. I think V needs to have some of her stuff like more clear, like how it activates and when it deactivates and what it does. And I definitely think that some of the nightmare characters are like Tinsel's a little bit busted. There's just so much stuff Tinsel can do unless you make
She
her
can just-
flip. If you make her
just
flip,
steal
she's
your
like,
cards.
yeah, which I think she should be able to do, but maybe not like forever.
Maybe not
I don't
quite as
know.
easily.
It should cost maybe a little more resolve or something, or something. I don't know. There should be something else going on with her, but we should probably do those things like one at a time, and then test them to make sure that they feel a little bit better. They feel a little bit more like they're not giving you like an unfair advantage or unfair disadvantage or something like that.
I do think the ruthless expansion
Yeah.
characters, which would be like Tinsel and Cinder, I think they probably had the least amount of playtesting in the original tabletop release. So they could certainly stand to have a little bit of tender loving care in nerfing or boosting them as deemed appropriate.
Oh, people are. Yeah, I never really thought about how many physical copies of Skirmish were out there that like you could just find it on eBay. Ragmo says that he got a copy of it on eBay.
Hey, nice. Yeah, we're not going to be printing. It's remotely possible there could be another print run in the future of like the new rule set. You know, if there is enough demand for it. I don't know if there will be. If people can play it on the internet, then it's sort of probably how most people would prefer to play it. So, and
Yeah, I
certainly
think somebody asked about that actually. Like, if
Yeah.
you guys change the rules in the video game, are we gonna get an updated, like cards with updated stats on them and stuff?
I would say
Which I don't know.
I don't know if we're going to be issuing card updates to people that already have the existing game, because at this point the existing game, the tabletop version, it really is sort of its own thing. Like there's so much polish and revisions and tweaking going on already at these early stages with the video game version of it. It's not really exactly the same thing anymore. So I don't know. Like
Yeah, and I think it's important that we do that because, of course, we want the game to be good, but also
Yeah.
I don't think that, like, you guys didn't really have an opportunity to play test this in such a, like, you really can't, like, write the code in an ambiguous way. It has to work one way, which is, like, we have these conversations talking about, like, how to design something or like something that is not, like, really clearly stated on the card. We'll have these conversations, and it really just, like, exposes the fact that some of the rules or, like, some of the ways that the cards work are just kind of, like, literally just up for interpretation. Like, you could read that card and then read through the rule book, and some of it it's just not quite clear how it's supposed to work. So, of course,
right,
if you're
it's-
playing the physical...
It's time, guys.
oh, already?
okay.
He was in the middle of explaining something though.
We got a hard 4 p.m. cutoff.
Cliffhanger. So tell them about that health thing, Dave. We just cut to an ad.
BetterHelp. I don't want to tell them about BetterHelp. I don't want to cut to an ad. I want to hear about Skirmish. Gabe, tell me about Skirmish.
Game development really
Scrimmage.
hurts my head, and that's why it brings us today's sponsor.
I had worse help
BetterHelp.
before, and now I have better help.
Do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, meanwhile, talking a lot about video games, but if anybody was ever like, what is it like to
Not anymore.
do background painting for animations, you just got to see a bunch of it, because
Takes a long time, doesn't it? It takes about 2 hours.
not that long. A couple hours. And look at that. Poof. It's like,
I usually just throw some shitty watercolors on and just call it a day.
Mhm. Yeah, just like 3 colors, whole thing.
oh,
Yeah.
That always works great, and then the next person in the pipeline has to be like, oh, we need to redo this. This needs to be revised. But yeah, I guess that is our stream time. Of course, I would be remiss if I didn't remind people we do have GarageBand live right now. That has been busting through stretch goals like none other. So if you're interested in GarageBand and you want to see how many stretch goals it's gone through, I think the next one that it's aimed at is possibly unlocking a second plush character. And this week we're going to put up the vote for who the primary plush character is going to be. So if you're interested in that, swing over to the GarageBand Kickstarter. And yeah, thank you, Hazen. There's a link right in the chat there. But it's going good. It's going better than I was expecting. So it's fantastic. Burst through the goals, burst through a few stretch goals.
Yeah. A lot of people getting the 7-inch Rihanna figure.
Yeah, that is a
big figure.
That is a popular figure. I am excited about that too because I really think that's going to be an upgrade in our figurine manufacturing capabilities permanently. I'm like with the water stickers and everything. I'm glad that we got some new superpowers there. It's gonna be a new era of vivid figurines, I think.
We sure hope so.
All right. Magna on YouTube is asking if skirmish is a good start for beginners.
For beginners of what, I'm not sure, but if you're asking for like beginners of Dreamkeepers, like you could start playing skirmish. I think it's a really even the original tabletop version. I think it's really fun. Like I like to play it still. I played Liz a while back with Tinsel and Tendril, and I want to switch characters and see if I can beat that combo with you having it. But yeah, skirmish. It's a fun card game. It's a fun entryway to Dreamkeepers if you want to sort of get a flavor of the franchise there. But if you wanted to like just jump into the comics, they're free to read on the website too. So you could just hit dreamkeeperscomic.com and start with the graphic novel saga. Maybe get into Prelude if you are interested in the characters.
I actually got skirmish is what made me read Dreamkeepers. A lot of you probably already know this if you've heard me on stream before, but that's what made me want to read it because I saw how cool the art was on the cards, and it was like descriptions, and I was like, well, there's cool art and there's obviously like a big story going on with this, so like what is this? And like I was doing stuff for Dave and Liz, and I was like, I should probably read whatever this is because it's like their thing anyway. So I just read it, and it was so good that I think only volume 1 through 4 was out at that point, but I just binged all through it in like a weekend.
Yeah, I need to do the same. I have like a headcanon about how I think things work and like what characters are like, and I wonder if like when I read through it, I'm just like everything's just gonna be shattered, and I'm gonna be like, I fucking hate this. I hate Dreamkeepers. Dave, why did you write them like this? This does not match my expectations at all.
I'm sorry. I was channeling my inner Aaron Hansen. I couldn't help it.
Or I guess Liz. I don't know. Like, do you guys write it together?
No, blame Dave. Blame Dave.
What do you mean blame me?
Okay.
We both write it, you
Dave.
bitch.
Oh my god.
All complaints go to Dave. Dave is always the one that does things wrong. I do the good stuff, and Dave does the bad stuff.
Oh, is that how it works?
Good stuff me,
The
bad
things
stuff
about
you.
Dreamkeepers you like is done by Liz, the cool one, but all the parts about Dreamkeepers that are stinky and bad, that's probably Dave, the bad one.
Stinky.
It's a yin and yang. If you don't like something, Dave did it.
Yeah, it's the perfect setup. All right. Well, again, thank you, everyone.
Works for me. I just want to know who to get mad at.
Me, always me. Scapegoat Dave, best scapegoat. Very beloved scapegoat, very popular scapegoat. A lot of goats escape their problems on David.
A lot of goatsy.
Yeah.
People are saying he's the only scapegoat.
All right, everyone. Thank you for watching the stream. Back GarageBand. Stay tuned. We got some stuff coming out from Tectomic on our socials this month, and it's gonna be fun. So, stream ends in 5, 4, 3,